seasons. Have you talked to the team about this? Do you see that same kind of mindset in these players?
Well, I think I wouldn't say it's the same, but I think there's some parallels. You know, in that they had a very disappointing loss, much like we did in the Super Bowl, and then they were able to come back and win their world championship. So it's something that we've talked to the team about. I have great respect for Coach Popovich and their organization and what they accomplished. So I think it's kind of unique and something we'd like to emulate.
Coach, you were back in Pats for the first time in practice in a while. How was that?
It was great. It was great. Great to be outside. We had a little bit of conditions today. You know, we'll see what the conditions will be Sunday, but, you know, you never know, and I thought it was good work for us.
Coach, can a bye week, the fact that you guys are getting healthy, can that really go a long way to energizing a team?
You know, always, you know, time will tell. You know, it's I don't know that there is a perfect scenario. You know, I think it's what you make it, and we're doing our best to prepare to make it what we want it to be.
John, a lot of us are saying what we see from Peyton. What are you seeing from Peyton when he throws the ball? How's it coming out of his hand and all that?
You know, again, he's one of the best quarterbacks ever played a game. He's, you know, statistically in the top 3 this year. So, you know, I think that kind of his performance kind of speaks for itself.
But are you ignoring, or you're the last 5 or 6 weeks he's not been that guy? Could be a coincidence, but
Well,
it's
I mean,
not.
everybody's got opinions. You know, I don't see it that way.
Coach, can you talk about perhaps the overall adjustments of this team, the difference of your team this year right now compared to last year? Maybe staying on the San Antonio theme, they adjusted with passing. Is the defense different this year? Is it a running game more different? You know what I mean?
Well, the team changes all the time. I mean, it changes every year. You know, no two teams, no two players are the same. You got different people. So, you know, I like this team. I like where we're at, and you know, we've got a great opportunity. We just need to make the most of it.
Is it more prepared for different scenarios, different game scenarios?
Well, I mean, I like to think, you know, that's what we do for a living. You know, we try to prepare guys for scenarios, and you know, in football you adjust, whether it's in game, game to game, or you know, I like to think we've done that all along.
Coach, you talk about practicing outside versus in, first ball, and then putting on the pads today for the first time in a while, hasn't it?
I think I answered that already, Mike, but I'll give it to you again.
You're here a little earlier.
Yeah. Did you just show up?
Fine. Big fine and Coach. Just
I
fine,
zoned down on you there.
Oh, okay.
as usual. Want to go through the list again? Injuries?
Good.
Did you, both of them, did you answer?
Yes, I did.
I only missed 2.
You want to write your article for you?
We'll talk later, Mike.
Coach, can you talk about the challenges that Andrew Luck presents?
Well, I mean, he's a tremendous young quarterback. You know, he's accomplished as much as I think as any young quarterback ever has. He's got good strength. He's got good size. He can make all the throws, and he's got great intangibles. We had him in the Pro Bowl a couple of years ago. He's a fine young man to be around, and so it doesn't shock me that he's had the success he has, and it'll be a great challenge for us.
John Elway's mantra kind of has been win now, but being built to win from now on. But in the locker room, there's a lot of guys who their futures with this team are uncertain after this year. So what sort of urgency is there to win with this group, knowing that there's a bunch of guys that could be not
Well,
here?
I think, you know, really I approach it year to year, you know, and it is a long season. You do have a lot of change year to year. We don't have the same players in that locker, in that meeting room that we had a year ago. And probably will not be the same next year. You know, it's not negative, it's not threatening, it's just the reality of the National Football League. So, you know, we've had faces change even this year. You know, there's guys that were here to start the season that aren't here now, whether on IR or they're not around. So you do try to make the most of it when you have these opportunities, because you don't know when they're going to happen again. So you try to make the most out of it. And I'm sure that's the mindset of those guys in this year's locker room.
When a guy is as good as Luck is, or any quarterback is, that you're young, is that maybe one of the attributes you hope to exploit? Is the youth something that you can maybe use?
You know, you just try to, you know, do the best you can to execute, and good players make that hard. So, you know, he's a huge challenge. He was in our first game. You know, you just go as recent as watching, the comeback win they had in the playoffs last year against Kansas City. That rings pretty true in my head.
Coach, what do you see from Mike Adams, especially from the first game of the year to how he's played the last few weeks in the Colts?
Yeah, I think he's had a great year for them. I think he was some level of alternate in the Pro Bowl voting, which is a great accomplishment because it's voted on by coaches and players or your peers. So I think he's played very well. He played good for us. I mean, he's a guy that I have a lot of respect for, and doesn't surprise me that he's had success with the Colts.
With some of the personnel changes between the first game of the season up to now and the way your offense has shifted a little bit moving forward, how much can you really take from that first game that you played when you look at tape?
Well, I mean, a lot of the players are the same. So there are things, but you evolve both from a player standpoint and a scheme standpoint as your season wears on. I think we have, and I think they have. So, it's kind of like when you play a division team and you play them twice. They know you, you know them, but the reality is it's another opportunity to see who executes the best.
John, will you get a chance to watch the other game on Saturday? Do you watch as a staff? How do you watch?
I don't really even check the times totally, but I know there's 2 games on Saturday. It fits in. I'm sure we're around, we're working. We'll be in our team hotel, so I'm sure I'll watch bits and pieces.
Obviously, a lot of intrigue with Manning taking on his old team. Is that just a headline, a fan type thing? Is there any
I
thought?
think we've been down that road enough times already. It's the 3rd time, so I think it's kind of old hat.
Even with it being in the playoffs this time?
You have to ask them that, or him that. I think it's really the Colts and the Broncos.
When you watch those games on Saturday, will you try to watch them as a fan, or is that almost impossible to do for you?
Well, we'll be busy. It won't be like I'll be glued in front of the television. Like I said, I'll get to watch it plenty, in the coach's tape later. But I'll kind of watch it as a fan, I guess, see the results.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.